Thank you, everyone, for
everybody,
listening to
and
Soul
we're
Talk
getting a
with
little bit of a
host
late
Jeremy McDonald, the author of Peace Be Still. You can check out more about our shows or about Jeremy at soultalkradio.org and jeremymcdonald.net. And now for our show.
Hello, everybody, and thank you. We were getting a little bit of a late start here because I was having some computer issues here that was not allowing me to sign in. So I have our guest on waiting, and his name is Dr. Christopher Vasey, and I'm going to be bringing him on from his hold time, and I do it so I can apologize to him and get our show started. So thank you guys for listening to Soul Talk. I'll give my introduction of him here in just 1 second. Dr. Vasey?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello?
Hello.
I apologize. My computer was not wanting to come on and start the show, so I apologize for that.
That's a bad surprise. I was wondering what was happening.
I finally got on, and so we're live here, and I just want to give a really good, big introduction to you. And so just real quick, Dr. Vasey is a naturopath and the author of he lives in Switzerland, so he's actually calling in from Switzerland. He studied naturopathy in a school in Paris. And in 1979, he started his own practice alongside his therapeutic work. He continued his formation of studying the work of famous naturopaths such as Dr. Paul Carton, Herbert Shelton, and Robert Masson. In 1981, he organized his own introductory course to naturopathy and started teaching in various health-oriented associations. So welcome to the show, Dr. Vasey. How are you today?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I'm fine, doing fine. Thank you.
And how are you actually calling in from Switzerland right now, or are you traveling, or where are you?
No,
where are you at?
I live in Switzerland. I'm calling from Switzerland, from home. Yeah, it's now 6 p.m.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I have friends that live in England, so they're usually about 5 hours ahead of me. Wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful.
And we have 6 hours.
Wonderful. So, so we're talking about your book, The Natural Remedies for Inflammation, and I'm sure we'll be talking about quite a bit of other topics. But let's maybe start off with. I know you've been practicing, naturopathic medicine for many, many years. What got you started in this, realm of study? Did it start off as something you said you were just going to do, or just kind of started studying natural health and stuff like that and going along in that direction? What got you?
No, I think I was always interested in that subject. My mother used to say, eat this, it's full of vitamins. Where are you getting your proteins from, and so forth. So I was a bit initiated by my mother in good eating healthily. But it's only when I was about 20 years old that I started to be really interested in natural medicine. First in vegetarianism, and then I went to a lecture from someone, a naturopath, who told what was naturopathy, natural medicine, and I was so enthusiastic about what he said that I asked him, where did you learn all that? He told me, and I started the school straight away. So that was quite a long time ago, because I've been practicing now for more than 35 years.
Wow. What a blessing. I like to ask that question because it really is interesting to find the sequence of events that leads people into their passion and their life purpose. So it seems that, of course, for 35 years you've definitely found that. So I was just looking at your website the other day, and then this morning again, and I wanted to share. We are talking about your book, Natural Remedies for Inflammation, but I also wanted to talk, just let everybody know, if you go to his website, which is down in the comments below in the description of the show, he also has other books, Optimal Detox, the acid alkaline diet, which is actually very interesting, and more stuff on the detox diet. And then he actually goes into the spiritual mysteries of blood, which looks very interesting. So there's just different self-knowledge books as well. So there's quite an array of books and information that you can go to his website, and that's at christophervasey.ch. And I believe that's /ANGLAIS/home.html, which it's just down in the description of the show as well. So you can definitely listen to that there. So I just wanted to kind of go into a little bit about natural remedies, and it's interesting because I've actually been doing a juicing detox off and on for the past 6 months. I'll do 2 or 3 days, and then what I've been doing is that trying to slowly but surely get myself off of, in the Americas we like to tend to stop at McDonald's and Taco Bell and all that because we're always so busy. I've been trying to change my mindset from going in that area, and going into thinking, no, I've got stuff at home and I can make, and the care it goes into, and then the juicing, of course, helps me with the detox. And so I've found that my body is not as bloated or in as much pain or in as much stiffness or everything else. So just a little bit I know about it, I kind of understand some of the inflammation in our bodies is caused by the foods we eat. Am I correct?
Yes. It is a basic notion in naturopathy that if we become ill, it's because our body has too many toxins in it, that is waste products. And these waste products come from what we eat. And when toxins, it is normal to have a little amount of toxins, but when they add and accumulate, then they make the blood more thick, doesn't flow so easily. It will congest and accumulate in organs such as the livers or the kidneys, so they will not work as well as they should, or they can accumulate in the joints, which get inflamed, and then it's painful and so forth. That's the basic idea in natural medicine. Too many toxins in the body accumulating in the physiological terrain is the base of all our illnesses. And that's why in natural medicine we work hard on detoxifying people, that is helping them getting rid of toxins, which can be made by following a diet as you did, a juice diet, or also taking medicinal herbs which stimulates the excretory organs, that is the organs which role is to eliminate the toxins, that is the liver, so plants to stimulate the liver, the intestines, the kidney, the skin, and the lungs. And by doing this, the level of toxins goes down and lower, and at one point there is no more toxins. No, well, there are a few, of course, circulating around, but just very little. And the person, as you've experienced, doesn't have so much pain, and different illnesses go away and are cured by this manner of therapy.
So is the toxins just because of the food that we eat, or is it? I mean, the great majority of that is it because of the environment and even how we build our homes and everything else? Is it just an accumulation of things, or?
Yes, it is an accumulation of things. Of course, nowadays, as most people are overeating, a lot of toxins come from what we eat. But there's also what we smoke, cigarettes or other things, the remedies, chemical remedies we take, if we take some, because there are many natural remedies which can replace them, and also the pollution and so forth. And there are many external sources of toxins and toxics which come into the body. And some of those toxics, especially heavy metals from pollution, are quite difficult for the body to get rid of because they're not really planned for our excretory organs, or they don't know about it so well because in the past there weren't any. So it's quite difficult. So there's a pollution of the body by toxins which come from food, but also the chemical pollution in which we live.
Well. So it's going to be necessary, in a sense, to do, really this becomes a life purpose. It becomes a lifelong thing, I guess, where, we can't just change our lifestyle, but it's also, we're probably going to have to do detoxes on a regular basis. It's not just eating different foods and stuff like that. It's a whole lifestyle change, which is kind of what I've been feeling, actually.
Yeah. I think at the beginning one has to do quite a lot of detoxifying cures to get rid of all the toxins which have accumulated. But then if you choose to eat in a healthy way, you'll have just a few toxins coming in the body which can be easily eliminated by the excretory organs, and therefore then it's not so necessary to be continuously detoxifying, because the body takes care of it. It's especially at the beginning, a lot of detoxifying in order to get rid of the great amounts of toxins. But following a healthy diet, having enough exercise and so forth, gives everybody that does that a good health, a strong health. And then there's the problem, of course, of pollution and other things, which we should try and avoid it as much as we can. And, well, that's a problem, yeah. Not so easy to solve.
That makes sense. So basically, once you get all the toxins, you detox the heavy amounts of toxins out of your body naturally keeps itself in balance as long as you maintain your lifestyle.
Yes.
That makes a lot. It's very interesting, because what I'm finding is that as I've been going through this, I kind of started at first, I wanted to just go into cold turkey and just change my lifestyle in an instant. And then I found all my cravings were still there. And then I thought about everybody that's ever trying to change their lifestyle and, go more holistic or more natural and stuff like that. And a lot of them have failed because they tried to just jump into the pool, I guess. And then their life was still hanging there over them. And so, and I almost feel like there's an addiction going on to the types of foods that we eat and the lifestyle that we have. And so I just kind of felt if I gradually did it and learned new things and studied more, that obviously it would start to get easier and easier and easier and easier.
We always have to start with the first step. And I've noticed that some people are more your kind. They have to go step by step, slowly, introducing one thing, then another, and that's the best way for them. But there's another kind of type. They have to change from one day to another, because if it goes too slowly, they abandon the effort and start again their old way of life. So I think it's the attitude of the person towards life, which is different and can lead to a different way of changing their lifestyle. But some people think, well, it's so hard, I want to stay in my old lifestyle. But if they make the effort to change for a certain time, then they will feel how much better they feel, much healthier, more energy, more a brighter view of things and so forth. And it's worth it. It's not an effort to keep a healthy lifestyle. It's a pleasure, and a pleasure which brings health and strength. So, but one has to do the first bit to get rid of all the toxins which gives us those cravings to certain food or certain drugs. I mean, tobacco or alcohol and so forth.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wanted to just kind of touch on this subject a little bit too, because I was doing, and I had it's a big movement here in the Florida area where everybody's doing an alkaline diet, where they're realkalining their body. And I noticed that you have a book on the acid alkaline diet, and I what I found very interesting was they started telling me about the foods that are more alkalining. I, in my mind, thought they would be more acidic. And then I found out, like, a lot of the greasy foods and all those things, and the comfort foods, those are very acidic. So what I'm finding is do we need to cut out, or there needs to be a balance between the acidic and alkaline foods? Am I correct?
Yes, you're correct. It's a balance between the two. I mean, acidifying foods are such foods which are rich in protein, so meat, fish, cheese, eggs, and also cereals like wheat, bread, pasta, and so forth. And it's not possible to live without proteins or carbohydrates, and therefore we have to eat those foods which are, yes, acidifying, but we don't have to eat only those. We have to eat also alkalizing foods, which are vegetables, also all the different kinds of vegetables, almond, bananas, chestnuts, and so forth. And it's a question of balance. Most people eat much too much acidifying foods and very little alkalizing foods. And that's where the balance is not in order. And it doesn't mean we should not eat any meat anymore, but we should eat much more alkalizing food, that is vegetable, raw or cooked or in juice, to compensate all the acids which come in the body. The idea would be to eat more alkalizing food than acidifying food, and we would be nearly in balance. That is, therefore, that we don't have to deprive ourselves of everything, but we have to choose and see that the amounts are correct, the proportions are correct.
It's interesting because, I don't really think we need to eat as much food as we do. Like a 5-course meal isn't always necessary.
No.
Or maybe it's a 5-course meal, but you don't need it to piled on plate. And then I think about, a lot of the nutritionists say that, for me, I've been told I don't need to take in more than like 2,000 calories a day, and if I'm doing it based on caloric intake, and I'm thinking that's not a lot of food, and so especially if it's a balanced diet, I guess.
I think we could do with far less foods, but we eat foods for one thing because we need it for our body to function. But the other thing is the comfort food, as you said. It's comfortable, it's agreeable, and it's also in our society where there's a lot of stress. It kind of calms us and makes us more ready to fight against stress. And so we eat much too much and stimulate ourselves. That's another point. Many people don't sleep enough. So in the morning they have to stimulate themselves with coffee and then with different sugary sweets and so forth all through the day. And those foods are basically not necessary, but they take it because it stimulates them to have enough energy. But if they change their diet and eat in a healthy way, they would see that they have a lot of energy without using all those stimulants, coffee, tea, chocolate, pastry, ice creams, and so forth, which are usually used.
I think about this too, like, because when we're talking about natural remedies and stuff like that, are there? I know Western culture is very big into medications, and it's been something that I've not been a big proponent of. I don't like to take antibiotics. I just don't like to put pills in my body. And I've been like that for a very long time.
Right.
I have a very I've seen friends with cancer, and I've seen friends with heart problems, and friends with HIV and stuff like that. Are there natural approaches to working with like a friend of mine is a holistic doctor, and she does IV chelation therapy for heart blockages and stuff like that, and different things she uses. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but are there natural remedies to where we could help, obviously eating better, but to keep our system running better so we can avoid heart problems? And then if you did have heart problems or cancer, are there natural remedies to fight that as opposed to using chemotherapy and that kind of stuff?
Yes, well, in naturopathy, there are two ways of helping someone to cure someone. One is to work on the internal environment of the person, that is the terrain. That is all. This terrain is made of all the liquids which are in the body, in the cells, around the cells, the blood, the lymph, and so forth. And all those liquids form the terrain, and there's an ideal composition of the terrain which makes us healthy and strong. And when someone is ill, as we've seen before, it's because there are too many toxins in the body. Therefore, the terrain has accumulated too many waste products. And the basic treatment of all the illnesses, cancer, HIV, and so forth, is to correct the terrain in order for the body to be able to function fully, among other things, the immune system, which then will be able to fight in an effective way against cancer, against heart problems and everything. That's the basic treatment, but natural medicine has also different remedies, which can be plants, which can be vitamins or minerals and so forth, which have a specific action on the heart, on cleaning the blood, or thinning the blood, or calming the pains and so forth. So there are two ways of helping. The basic one, the most important one, is changing the internal environment, and the second one is using natural remedies to help the body help itself. And the idea of using natural remedies is that they are remedies which are well accepted by the body, usually in general, and which have no side effects. It will not intoxicate the person, it will not destroy something, it will not inflame something. But this is the problem with chemical remedies, or you mean allopathic remedies. They have a nice effect on something, but bad effects on something else. So on one side, people are curing themselves, but on the other side, they're getting worse. So that's why we prone natural remedies when it's still possible to help a person like that. But in such cases, we are aware of it. People have gone so far, the terrain is so full of toxins and poison, the body is so weak that it's not really possible with natural medicine to do too much, and it must be there must be a complement to this, which comes from allopathic medicine and taking remedies which are not so good for health, but will help the person survive and cure himself partly or more or less.
So it's possible for allopathic medicine and naturopathic medicine to work together and in conjunction with itself.
Yes, I think it's possible. Of course, allopathic doctors will say, we start and then you finish. But we say we start because we have healthy, natural way to start with small illnesses, which, if they are not cured correctly, become severe illnesses. So I think it's more reasonable or logical to start with natural medicine, and if it doesn't work, to go on to allopathic medicine, especially as natural medicine tries to find the causes of the illnesses and to act on these causes. I mean, if someone is overeating meat every day and is full of rheumatism and pains, it's no use taking anti-inflammatory remedies and whatever, chemical ones or even natural ones, if the cause is not cut out. And the cause being eating too much meat, the person has to eat less or even none at all for a certain time in order for the body to get rid of the toxins which are brought by the meat. If you don't do that, then you've got to take medicine your whole life without end and with all the side effects.
Now, isn't the inflammation in the body, I mean, obviously we've been talking about detoxing and the toxins and stuff like that. Is that the whole cause of inflammation in the body, is the toxins, or is there... if that's the case... Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. The causes of inflammation are toxins. It can be toxins, but there are other causes. When microbes come in the body, they will attack the cells, and they also secrete their own waste products, which can be poisonous for the body. So they are a big cause of inflammation. But it can also be chemicals invaders, such as coming from heavy metals from pollution, or snake bites, or bee stings, and so forth. But that's very doesn't last for long. The problem. Or it can be allergens, flower pollen, dust, animal hair, and so forth. All those are different causes which will cause an inflammation. And an inflammation is a local reaction of defense triggered by the body itself to protect itself against an enemy which has just arrived in the body. It's something healthy, natural. It's good to have an inflammation. because it means the body is fighting against the intruder. It's going to survive and heal itself. So why, some people will ask, well, why take anti-inflammatory remedies? The problem is that this reaction can become too strong or last too long, which will bring damages to the cells, and also there can be too much pain for the person. It's too painful, and there the wish arises to calm the pain and calm the inflammation, and that's why when the anti-inflammatory remedy comes into action. But basically, in natural medicine, when someone has an inflammation, one thing we always do is try to detoxify the person to get rid of a lot of poisons and toxins from the terrain so that it's clean, and also get rid of the intruder in a way or another. Well, if it's microbes, with antibiotics, but natural ones, and so forth. And also to get rid of the pain, then to take anti-inflammatory remedies. Anti-inflammatory remedies is a great help, but it's not the basic, the base of the treatment. It's a complementary action in addition to changing the internal environment.
That's basically the symptom care, but then you have to get into the more of the holistic care, the whole issue.
Exactly, yeah. The detoxifying, changing the internal environment is acting on the causes, and taking anti-inflammatory is just acting on the effects of the illness. It will not cure the illness, but it will relieve the pains and calm the inflammation. It's a help. It's not the whole treatment.
That makes a lot of sense. Because that's exactly what happens in allopathic medicine. Somebody comes in with a flu, they give them antibiotics, and they send them on their way, but they never tell them, if you start eating correctly, you start taking in, exercising, you start doing this, start taking in vitamins, then you might not have had this flu. Your immune system is not strong enough to fight it off.
Yeah.
So now, are there cases I've heard? Go ahead.
No, to be complete, I want to add something. Is that I've said several times that the basic cause, the main cause of illness, is an internal environment which is full of toxins. But to be fair, I should also add that it can also be caused by a lack of vitamins, minerals, and so forth. And this is the second great cause of illnesses. Those are the two main ones, in fact: too much toxins or too little vitamins and minerals. And in the second case, the treatment consists in bringing the vitamins, and minerals which are lacking by eating a different manner, eating food which have those vitamins, or taking natural supplements, vitamin supplements, which can help the body get a lot of vitamin at the same time, or a mixture of different vitamins, which it can very easily assimilate and use, and then the lacks slowly disappear, and the person can find his health again. So those are the two basic causes of illness: an excess of toxin or a lack of vitamin, minerals.
Why is it? This is just a really quick question. That it seems that allopathic medicine and naturopathic medicine, it's almost like allopathic medicine, at least here in the States. I know the American Medical Association is not very friendly to naturopathic type of remedies.
No.
What? Yeah, and I only know that because one of my friends is a medical doctor, and she was kicked out of the emergency room for telling people to take antibiotics and start eating correctly instead of take vitamins, and started teaching them about diets. She was told if she didn't start giving the medication, she could leave. So,
yeah.
And I mean, I could easily say it's insurance companies, but that seems that's.
But I think also one point is that if a doctor has studied in Switzerland it's about 8 years, he's studying that illness is, the cause of illness is there, the way you treat it is like that. he's really drilled to think that he has to have remedies which are very powerful because the remedies do all the work. The body is just passive and so forth. I have to find a good remedy and so forth, and have a good diagnostic and so forth. And then comes someone and says, no, it's not like that. We have to work on the terrain, eat food, take plants. And they say, well, food, plants, even medicinal plants are not as powerful as my remedies. And it's difficult for them to understand that there's another way of seeing things. But also, as you mentioned, there's also quite a lot of pressure from the chemical remedies industry and so forth, which doesn't help.
Yeah. I think it's a combination of a broken way of looking at it and a holistic way of looking at it. So, and then we've got people like you doing the work, so which I'm sure isn't always easy.
Yeah.
But I'm very passionate. Yeah. There are more and more people open to it, and it's. My mother was actually a nurse and studied a lot of natural remedies, and so that's why I was. I'm very interested in one of the reasons why I asked about cancer is because she passed away of uterine cancer. But it's and I had studied I'm sure you've heard of it, the Gershon remedies and stuff like that, where I think they call it the Gershon miracle for cancer and stuff like that, which is very similar to what you're talking about, detoxing the body.
Mm-hmm. Many people who have cancer, I'm not saying that everybody should go to a naturopath, but many people who have a cancer change their diet, take vitamins, minerals to get rid of the lacks they have. They detoxify, and if they do it correctly with the help of someone who knows about it, many of them get rid of their cancer and can cure. But I'm not saying that every person having a cancer can cure in this way, because sometimes the problem is so big, the body is so weak, cannot react as well, and it's too late for natural medicine to be a great help. It can help relieve different symptoms, the pains and so forth, but not cure the person. A cancer is called a degenerative illness. It's not the first illness people get. First they get acute illness where the body fights against the toxin and gets rid of them in a very energetic way. You cough, you've got your skin full of spots and so forth, and the toxins are out and the internal environment is clean again and healthy. But then if someone doesn't goes on living in an unhealthy way, then he becomes chronic illnesses, and there the body cannot get rid of the toxins as well. He has to try again and again to get rid of them without really managing it. So the toxins accumulate slowly, and with time, then more serious illnesses come in. It's a progression, and that's why I was saying before it's better to go and see a naturopath at the beginning, because he could tell the person straight away the causes of your illness are this and that. The way you live is not good for this and that reason, and therefore the person could learn something and change already at the beginning, and not come into chronic and then into degenerative illnesses. I think if the whole system was changed, there would be very few very serious illnesses.
It's interesting. I wanted to throw this in there too, because because you've written books along this line as well. Do you think that there is a spiritual aspect to changing a lifestyle? I'm not necessarily saying religious aspect, but a spiritual aspect of not only do we change how we eat, how we take care of ourselves, our environment, everything else, but then there is a spiritual aspect to changing our lifestyle as well that could help us with our health.
I think that someone who is spiritually awake, who sees more than just the material or the physical body, but is aware that we are spirits which is incarnated in a physical body, such a person, and that we are here on earth for a certain time, and then at death the body stops functioning, the soul moves out of it and goes on living. Someone who has this knowledge and attitude towards life will not handle his body in such an irrespectable, how do we say that, non-respectable way, by putting so many poison in it, overfeeding it, under-exercising it. He will have more respect towards his body and try to treat it as a very useful tool for his sojourn here on Earth, and that he has received this tool from nature, or we could also say from the creator of nature, and that he has to handle it in a good way so that it stays a good tool for his spirit, for his soul. I think that's the way someone who is more open spiritually will react and change.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just that's a good point. I just thought that because you think about body, mind, and spirit, and they all kind of come together.
Yeah.
Definitely can play a good part. We actually have a caller calling in, and I just wanted to bring them on the line really quick. So just bear with me 1 second. Hello, calling in from Skype, I guess Kat Bray. Did you have a question for Dr. Vasey?
Well, I just came on. I was just looking through Blog Talk, and his book is about inflammation.
Yes.
Okay.
Natural remedies for inflammation.
Because they think I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I'm taking all these medicines that are making me sick.
Okay, so they think you have rheumatoid arthritis, and you wanted to know about natural remedies for rheumatoid arthritis?
Right.
Instead of...
Yeah. Is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Yeah, good. Yes. Whatever the illness, the cause of the illness is too many toxins in the joints, and one way of curing this problem is to look out where do these toxins come from. And as we've said just before, it's a lot of it comes from the food we eat. Some people think they eat very healthily, but it's not really the case. It's not really adapted to them. So my recommendation would be to go and see a naturopath who can ask you what you eat, what kind of food you eat, and correct your diet, give you good ideas to how to change it and help you change it. And he can also check that your excretory organs, such as the liver, the kidneys, the skin, and so forth, function well enough. And if it's not the case, he will help you to make them function better by taking natural medicinal plants or hydrotherapy or something else, and which will help you get rid of the toxins. And also give you minerals or supplements to fight against the lack of nutrients. And by doing this, your whole terrain will be much stronger. There will be less toxins and aggressive substances which are attacking your joints. And in addition, to help as a transition, he can recommend you an anti-inflammatory remedy. There are many made which are plants, which don't have all those side effects of your the chemical anti-inflammatory. But in your case, I would check I would go to a naturopath and not try to do it all by yourself, because getting rid of one kind of anti-inflammatory and introducing the others is something which has to be done smoothly and correctly.
Does processed food have a lot to do with that?
Acid foods, yes. The acid is something very corrosive, aggressive, and we can experience it when we eat a lemon. We bite in a lemon. It's very aggressive, and that's why there's a lot of saliva which is produced to dilute the aggressiveness of the lemon. But the same thing happens in the body. The acids are all over the body, and in some people, most of it is in the joints, and the joints are daily aggressed, corroded by these acids, and they get inflamed. And that's why that will bring you that kind of problem you have, or all the different kind of joints and problems or pain in the joints. So watching your acid-alkaline balance is also very useful. And as I said before, it's changing the diet to eat more alkalizing foods and lowering the intake of acidifying foods, but also taking alkaline supplements which help the body get rid of many acids more quickly. So the pains can go away quite quickly with those alkaline supplements. Alkaline supplements are not something which kills the pain, but it gets rid of the acids which make the joints painful. So, but it has the same final effect. The person is relieved of his pain or part of his pains.
Did you say lemon is not good to drink in the water?
Yeah, that's a special problem. Some people metabolize well the weak acid from fruits, lemon, and all the different foods, and that's why many people say it's good to follow a lemon juice cure to get rid of your rheumatism. But there's a category of people who metabolize really badly the weak acids of fruits. They don't oxidize them, and they stay acid. So when such a person follows such a cure of a lemon juice cure or a vinegar cure also, they get worse and worse because they're constantly bringing acids to the body which corrodes the joints. So if you're not sure if you belong to this category, the thing is to stop all lemon and all the fruit juice and see if you get better. It only takes a few days to notice. If you feel better, then you are part of these people who metabolize badly the weak acids from fruits.
Okay, that's very interesting because I had no idea about that.
Yeah, it's something new, and that's why I wrote my book, The Acid-Alkaline Diet. It's in a tradition, which gives all the list, explains the whole thing, and gives the list of acidifying foods, alkalizing food, and the list of food which can be either alkalizing or acidifying depending on the person. And that's a great help because most books do not talk about the third category of foods, the acid foods, and therefore many people can't cure themselves because they go on eating too many fruits and vinegar and so forth.
Oh, yeah, and it's quite a lot.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Oh, I like vinegar.
Yeah, well, you should try maybe no fruits, no vinegar for 1 week or two and see how you feel.
See how I feel.
In your joints. Yeah.
I'll do that. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. That's interesting because I've actually heard that as well, that lemon, one of the juices I do, they actually recommend to put half a lemon in it with the kale and spinach and broccoli.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
but maybe it's fine for you. Huh? Maybe it's fine. For some people, it's miraculous that cures them and all. But for others, it's really bad. We have just to know that one has to see how do we metabolize well or not the weak acids from fruits.
That's interesting. Well, and it really comes down to is that they come up with all the, many wonderful people, scientists and doctors have come out with wonderful books, but then some concepts work for some people and some work for others. And,
yeah.
So.
And I think that's the reason why some people. That's a very important point because many people say it's strange. My neighbor has followed this diet and cured herself, but I'm following this one, the same one, but I'm not curing myself. And they can't understand why in one book it says white is white, and in the other one it says white is not so good. There are a lot of contradiction between books, but the key to understand that is that the author, maybe not consciously, is talking about another group of persons. We all are different individuals which can be divided in groups following our temperament. sanguine, melancholic, and so forth. And we react differently to the same food or to the same medicinal plant and so forth. And that we have to take into account. It's not mathematical. We've got to adapt all the different means therapy to us to see which one of them are good for us. And that's why books are written, or it's good also to see naturopaths which can give good advice at that level.
Well, that's similar in coaching and spiritual counseling. I can't counsel a person one way and then counsel the other person the same way, because everybody's different emotionally and spiritually, or where they're at.
Yeah.
I just took a question because this may be something like along those lines, because it's I'm sure you've heard about the theories about everybody's blood type is different, and the certain types of foods that they eat are good for that blood type, and certain point some are not. And I've actually followed that off and on for years. And one of them is I'm an A positive blood type, and red meat. If I even eat a steak, even though I really like it, my body, like literally, just my stomach will light on fire. It's like all the acid and acidic.
Yeah.
Not so much as it was the past couple of years. I've been really working on a lot of things, but now if I eat a small piece of steak, I'm usually fine. On a very rare occasion. But if I was, a couple of years ago, if I even ate a small piece, I would have bad acid reflux. And I just started realizing if I'm going to eat these kind of foods, I kind of just eliminated them for a while because I didn't want to feel sick anymore. Is there some truth based on our blood types and who we are as in that realm to the kind of foods that we can process?
Yes, I think there is truth in this system, but it's one system among many others. It puts on glasses to see what kind of blood type you are, and then it gives you the list of food you should eat and generously, and those just a little, and those you should avoid. And this is correct. It works in general, but it's not the only thing. You can be of one blood type and have to eat certain foods, which your liver, if you put other glasses to see the problems, if you consider the liver, your liver is not so good at digesting this kind of food, so you should not eat them so much. What I mean by that is that there's not one system which can answer all the questions. There are different approach of health. One is through the blood type, another one is through is the liver strong enough, how are the intestines functioning, the kidneys, what kind of illness the person has, and so forth. And we have to adapt the treatment to the person, the specificality of the person. Of course, a therapist can do that. He learns how to do it. A layman can only feel it. Well, he can feel it because we are equipped with intuition or feelings. We are attracted to some things, to some foods, and repelled by others. Or we can also experience every time we eat this kind of food or too much of that food, we are not so well, so we should avoid it. And many people listen to this kind of signs, and all for the best. They feel much healthier. But when there's someone ill and he cannot manage alone, then it's better to go and see someone who knows, a naturopath.
Interesting. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. So along the lines of the book, Natural Remedies for Inflammation, is there other work that you're doing, anything you're writing right now, or what's your next project?
No, not now. I'm in between two books. But the last one, which was, I write in French and then they translated in English. The last one, Natural Remedies for Inflammation, the basic idea of it is that many people take anti-inflammatory remedies. It's the kind of remedies which are the most sold, one of the 2 or 3 most sold remedy. And usually what they take is remedies like aspirin or cortisone, or the doctor gives them this kind of treatment. But these remedies, anti-inflammatory remedies, have many side effects and could be very well replaced in many cases, but not all, by natural remedies, plants. And that's why in my book I have given a whole list of plants, telling what kind of plant it is, how to take it, the different forms of taking it. And it's just not only an idea I have that they're effective, because many people have tested them and they are very effective. And studies have been carried out to see how they compare with aspirin or similar kind of remedies. And for some of them, they have equal or even better results without the side effects. I'm thinking, for example, of the devil's claw, Arpagophytum, which is a root from a plant which is very effective against inflammation in the joints, but with no side effects, so they can be taken in big quantities instead of taking something which hurts the stomach, or as this lady told just a minute ago, she gets ill with all the medicine she takes. So the idea of the book is that anti-inflammatory remedies in the chemical ones can be replaced in many cases by natural ones. For illnesses which are not too severe, when it's very severe, sometimes it's not strong enough, or it's better to go and see a therapist to be sure you're doing right. But in many easy or small illnesses, or even chronic illnesses, it's possible to use plants as anti-inflammatory remedies.
Nice. Very, very cool. So we got a few more minutes left. Was there anything that you would like to kind of talk about before we wrap up the show? Can't even believe it just breezed by an hour.
I have written different books on natural medicine. It's different aspect of it. Detox is one part of it, the acid alkaline, also the need to drink enough water for the body to function. And for those who don't know anything about natural medicine, the book, The Naturopathic Way, is a good presentation of what is natural medicine in an easy way to understand. I always try to write in a comprehensible way, easy to understand by everybody. And if people go on my website, they will have a presentation of all the different books, and also articles and a few videos which talk about all these subjects of natural medicine. And I would recommend people to start somewhere and follow a cure and get used to the process and learn something from it, and then go further, try something else, or go to a naturopath who will guide them, because it's only by practice that we learn natural medicine and how to apply it to us, and then we can be our own doctor for many things, many ailments. Not everything, I'm not saying everything, but it's a question of learning, but it's only possible by practicing, following this cure, taking this plant, and finding what's the best for ourselves.
Absolutely. So the more and more you learn, the more awake you become, the more aware you become, and the easier it becomes. I think it's exactly what we've been kind of talking about, is that oftentimes we want to do something or want to change something, but we don't have the knowledge, or we have exactly what you were saying before. The neighbor has been doing it, so and then it's not working for me. And so I think that's where the therapist comes into play, is to help them balance that or learn what the right approach is for themselves.
Exactly.
Well, Dr. Vasey, thank you so much for coming on the show and being patient in the beginning with me and my technical difficulties, and sharing your wealth of 35 years of knowledge with us in the short amount of time. It feels like we've only been on the phone here for about 10 minutes, but I guess we've been on for an hour.
Well, it was a pleasure.
Everybody, it was very much a pleasure, and we look forward to future shows, and you have a great day and a great evening.
Yeah, thank you. Goodbye.
And everybody listening, definitely check out his website, Dr. Vasey's website down below. And next week we will have Laura Eisenhower on the show. And thank you, everybody, for listening to Soul Talk. Have a great week. Bye-bye.